I've gone through several issues. It tells me how this place works. Never thought we'd come to the point where we've actually choked down the real economy with the valid effort to try to get rid of the disease. And the American public that's been caught in the crossfire
Hey, Robin,
already
Luke. Hey, Ricky.
is suffering. The ones that early had to shutter their business, they were hoping that when they woke up today, they were going to see something. Now you can see that's not going to happen. Many others here have kind of gone after the other side, and I think it's a valid argument. What I'm going to talk about here this evening, two things. If we do not get something done, and done through unanimous consent, and we have to wait until Wednesday,
Hey,
we
Robert.
will all be held accountable.
Yeah, Robert, call me Nay, bro. Nice to meet you.
What this place normally
What's
does
up, buddy?
and doesn't work for the people that sent us here to do the business.
Fuck it, Nay's live, no shower.
In Indianapolis,
Fucking funny.
called me earlier in the week,
Jimmy, Jonah,
last week,
Todd,
2% occupancy.
David Honey, what's up,
The
son?
number of small businesses across the country, not only in Indiana, that have had to, employees leave, have had to shutter their business by government edict. The toll and the carnage is going to be great.
So let me give you a quick synopsis of what's been going on. Yo, Iceman, what's up, son? So the government, the United States federal government, was attempting to pass a $2 trillion bill to relieve this coronavirus, right? The Democrats edited the bill with a bunch of earmarks. Now, for those of you who don't know when they're trying to pass a bill, what earmarking is, it's a shitty, sideways process that allows politicians to insert their personal bills into a larger bill to try to get them passed. It's a shitty fucking thing to do. The Democrats don't give a fuck about us. They only give a fuck about their agenda. And some of the things that they tried to slide into this bill are fucking obnoxious. Like, let's bail out the Postal Service and let's give $10,000 of free tuition for all college kids. And, it goes on and on and on with more bullshit that they tried to slip in there. And what the Republicans are saying is true. The Democrats are being obnoxious, and the people who are hurting because of it are us. Every single fucking American citizen is hurting because of the standoff that the Democrats are doing. Now, you might be asking yourselves, and why the fuck would the Democrats get the balls all of a sudden and hurt us so poorly, so immensely over some some earmarking and some stupid things that they're trying to slip in? Well, you might remember a few months back, Donald Trump was on trial. He was being impeached. Do you remember how there was evidence, there was just blatant evidence that he was lying, that he tried to manipulate, and all the Republicans had to do was just admit it and say, yeah, you're right, there's the evidence, we can see it. Dead to rights, you guys got him. But none of them, not a single Republican, came on over to help the Democrats. So now when the Republicans are trying to pass this bill, the Democrats have all of a sudden learned, oh, we can be cocksmokers too, just like you guys. Yeah, it is the wrong time to do it. It is the wrong time to do it. But you know what? Sucks to be us. We all want to play this fucking game. You wanted to be a little bit silent when the Republicans were, when they were playing fucking their little game with the whole Donald Trump trial. Now all of a sudden, it's starting to make a little bit more sense. The Democrats are so angry at the Republicans. They don't give a fuck about us. They're so angry about what happened that they're just like, hey, fuck them. Let's just write a bunch of shit they won't pass. Because they knew the Republicans weren't going to pass any of this shit. Pelosi knew it. And who's got to pay for it? We do. So while Pelosi and Trump go back and forth on this shit, we're the ones that get the brunt of it. We're the ones that get the pain. And we're the ones who will die over their fucking game. Welcome to fucking American politics. I know it sucks, and I hate to be the guy to bring it to y'all and throw it down on the table in front of you. Yeah, that's what they're talking about right now. They're trying to pass it again. But the Democrats need to take the earmarks out. Who is Madam President? President of what?
Mr. President.
Senator from Texas is recognized.
Mr. President, this is a time of extraordinary crisis for our nation. In this time of crisis, I call upon each of our colleagues on both sides of the aisle to rise above. Rise above petty partisanship.
I agree.
Rise above the bickering that so often consumes Washington.
I agree.
Rise above and put first the priorities of the millions of Americans who are hurting.
Well said, Ted Cruz. Well said.
There's a time for political disagreements. There's a time for policy disagreements.
Right. He's making a lot
I
of
am
sense.
no stranger to robust political and policy disagreements. But we are in the midst of a global pandemic. People are dying. People are suffering. Last night, when this Senate voted on whether to move forward with emergency relief legislation for the
No longer
millions
guarded
of people
candidates. Canada
being
says a 10 for all.
devastated
Top of the hour. Cheers, everybody.
by the economic disaster we're seeing as a result of the coronavirus epidemic. Every single Democrat in this body voted to block consideration of this bill. Now, for those of you at home who are not poring over a Senate procedural matter, what does it mean to vote to block consideration? It doesn't mean they voted against the bill. It means they voted against even starting to take it up. The New York Times headline, moments afterwards, said, Democrats block $1.7 trillion stimulus bill. Of course, that headline had the fault of being accurate. And so within minutes, the New York Times changed it. The Democrats block $1.7 trillion stimulus bill, citing worker concerns. That was headline number 2. But then apparently the partisan leanings in the New York Times were too strong for that. And so they revised it a third time to say partisan division halts discussion of the bill. No, it wasn't partisan division. It was one party, the Democratic Party.
Hey, New Orleans Gerald, what's up, son?
People, hell no.
James, they don't get their head out of their asses. It's not going to be on our side at all. Right. Mark Ferrigno, it makes me physically sick to see how dependent we are on people who don't give a fuck about us, right?
Shameful. We awakened this morning following the Democrats' obstruction. Worldwide, there were 372,563 reported cases of the coronavirus. In the hours since then, just today, there have been an additional 23,352 cases reported today. While the Democrats are blocking the bill, 23,000 new cases today. In the United States, when we started this morning, there were 35,224 cases this morning. Right now,
Where's
as
the
of the latest
compensation,
numbers,
says
there
Anthony.
are 41,700
Hey, Billy.
cases in the United States today. That means we've had an additional 6,484 cases today while the Democrats are blockading. And by the way, where are the Democrats? C-SPAN doesn't show this whole chamber often, but it'd be nice if they did.
Right.
Because that entire side of the chamber is empty.
Right.
They're not showing up for work. They're not doing their job.
Right.
In Texas this morning, there have been 668 cases as of right now. There's 722, 54 more cases today, while the Democrats are blocking consideration of this bill. How about deaths? Look, as we look at this crisis, there are people right now gasping for breath. You and I, we have friends who've been diagnosed with this disease. We've read stories, we've talked to people who've struggled
what's up, Bill?
under it. I heard from one individual who's hospitalized right now that
Hey,
breathing
Sharon.
felt like a belt strapped across his chest that he could barely breathe.
You lost your jobs, Cody? Jesus fuck.
As of this morning, worldwide, there have been 16,381 deaths. Now that's the number now. This morning it was only 15,308.
More than 1,000 people
That means
died.
today,
1,000
while the
people.
Democrats have been blocking this bill,
1,000 people died.
1,073 additional people died.
That's right. And that's an important
In the
fact.
United States, as of this morning, there were 471 deaths reported due to
Look.
coronavirus. As of right now,
He is a conservative Christian, William. Okay? He grew up in churches. He believes in God and Jesus Christ and all that shit. But he's making a lot, I don't care what his tone is, the words he's saying are making sense. And he's right.
deaths now, they're none. One Texan died, while half this chamber refused to show up and do their job.
Thanks, Cody.
Now, this morning when we voted again,
James Hanley, right on.
we saw the first signs of cracks. As one Democrat, senator from Alabama, who had voted no yesterday, decided this morning, well, maybe we should take up the bill. One Democrat. Where are the rest? There are a lot of Democrats who like to hold themselves out as moderate Democrats. Where are they? Right now, what the Democratic leadership is doing is they're playing games. They're playing games.
Dorinda says one of her best friends' fathers passed away. Dorinda, sorry, Dorinda.
Important elements for a lot of people that are hurting. You've got not only the people
Yeah.
who are hospitalized, the people who are suffering,
There's
but you've also got economic devastation.
There's something to be said about preparedness, you know, Gerald. It's what we always talk about on this show, is that, you know, you be prepared for whatever the fuck you might have coming. That's why we talk about credit and going off grid and having food. You know, it all makes a lot of sense today to a lot of people that have been watching my show. And you guys may have been pissed off about something I said or the way I spoke to somebody or whatever. But a lot of those people right now, they're sitting at home and they're getting on the internet and they're coming back to the show because they're remembering what I told them for the past few years. They're like, that crazy motherfucker Trendy Nay, he doesn't like it when people call him by his real name. But man, he's fucking right. He was right about going off grid the whole time. And now look, anybody who listened to Trendy Nay and went off grid and got prepared, today they're doing pretty good. They got food in their home, they've got power, they've got water, they've got all the things that Trendy Nay said they were going to need. So I know a lot of you are coming back to the show now, and I welcome you all back. Come on back. You know, come on back. It's okay. You know, it's okay that I was right. You can benefit from the fact that I was right. You know, and keep listening to me. I want you guys to do good. I want you guys to survive. Didn't you just say that before, Detroit? What are you reposting shit? You can put the blame on whoever the fuck you want. You know, it's all bullshit. What the Democrats did is inexcusable. A bailout for the goddamn postal service? Really? Yeah, I thought we were talking about the Wuhan virus. So the fact is, it wouldn't cost 1.7 trillion for all this. It would probably cost less than 1 trillion for what we need. But we're so fucking stupid. Sharon Ann, right on. Not enough. Right, Gerald? Tim Black is on? Is he wearing a trendy hoodie? Yeah, the Young Turks was going to go on too. They had a thing. I was kind of interested in what they had to say about all of this. But
To go boxes, and he went on to say,
I don't think there's any defense for the Democrats. I don't think there is any defense for the Democrats. None. They don't, Jason. They don't. I use that postal service every fucking day. You know, you guys are buying all this trendy paint oil and all that postage. Man, I put a lot of money into postage every day. That's bullshit. They're saying they're fucking running out of money. Fuck that shit. That's a goddamn racket. And if they're losing money, they're doing it wrong. Do you think this virus was man-made? Jimmy, do you not watch the news? Do you not know where the virus came from? It came from bats in China. People are eating bats in China, Jimmy. Jimmy, do you not know? Are you not informed? Are you not informed? Do you not watch the news, Jimmy? For 25 years. And Jimmy, would it really matter if it was man-made or not? Would it really matter? Oh, let's just say some evil chemist somewhere decided to release the virus. Okay. Does that change anything? Good. This time around, we need to help the people and not the corporations. Yes. Also believe the corporations can get loans and bail themselves out instead of making the people pay back their bailout. Also, I believe if for some reason they get the bailout, they should no longer be allowed to buy back their stocks. Troy Gibson, well said. They can't get mad if you keeping it real, bro. James Hanley, I try to keep it real. I think it's more to it than that. Yeah, I posted it already, but wasn't sure if you saw it. Yeah, I fucking saw it. Like I said, the blame doesn't fucking matter, and I don't want to sit here and talk about the blame. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. We're in this situation. That's what we need to worry about. We need to not worry about whether it was a man-made virus or whose fault it was. You know, we need to focus on the solutions. And right now, your personal solution is the most important of all. To limit your contact with other people. Don't be morons like my fucking neighbors having a fucking party yesterday. Okay? Don't be idiots. Think for yourselves. Think smart. All right? And think strong. You know, a lot of you guys, you'll think, yeah, I got to avoid human contact in it, but you won't. You'll think it, but you won't do it. You know, a lot of you won't. That's why you're going to get sick and die. Especially if you smoke cigarettes. And I told you all to quit smoking cigarettes too. We could write a list of all the things that I've told you over time that are preparing you for today. And one of them was quit smoking cigarettes, you fucking idiots. You know, and now you got real good reason to quit smoking cigarettes. Because if you smoke cigarettes and you get this virus, you got like a 5 or 10% stronger chance of dying from it. Now imagine if you're older and you smoke cigarettes. Oh, no, you know, triple fucking chances. Yeah, so William, do you think a virus, you know, you think like if they're working on a virus, they're going to release it right there by the virus center? Don't you think they'd maybe, you know, ship it out to somebody far away and release it somewhere else so as not to cause suspicion? If you're going to release a virus, is that how you would do it, William? Funny, huh? Look, William, I'm going to block you from my live stream, okay? And the reason why is because you're a conspiracy theorist and you're spinning your bullshit on my live stream that nobody wants to hear. That's not going to help anybody, okay? Not you, not me, not anybody. Like I said, the source of this doesn't matter. Who started it doesn't matter. None of it fucking matters. What matters is we all got it. It's here. That's what matters. That's why people watch my show. Because I'll get rid of morons like you, and they'll realize, oh yeah, that conspiracy shit, that's just a waste of time. Nay's been saying that for years. Nay's been saying, don't waste your time with conspiracies. Wow, that one applies too. Wow, I'm going to start a fucking list of everything I've taught you guys that applies to this goddamn outbreak. You need to put more soy sauce. Do you think the soy sauce would kill the virus? We're not even allowed to leave our homes. Well, you shouldn't want to leave your home, spin derp. You shouldn't want to leave your home. Fuck being allowed. All right, King Capitalism wants to get blocked from my live stream. Goodbye. The banks that he owns money to, Jay. What's up? How you holding up in the mountains? I'm doing great, Jay. Going to spin the bottle, Sean. Yeah, right. Quit smoking. Right, Jason. Diana, blame the damn Chinese on this crap because they knew about this long before it hit really hard, and I know that for a fact because I do listen to the news. Was it, Diana, was it all Chinese people that ate the bat? Was it all Chinese people who suppressed the information, Diana Bauer? Get back with me on that, Diana, okay? Get back with me. Answer those two questions. Megan says, all right. Ron Schwartz, unfortunately, we're frying pan now. Everyone needs to stay at the house, and hopefully this will pass. Ron Schwartz, great advice. Mr. Johnson, right on. Well, I know better not to either way. Spinder. Trendy, are you staying in your house every day? Have you enough food? Yes. Nut. I am staying in my house like I normally do. And I've got plenty of food. Come on, Jimmy, says George Martin. What about cannabis smokers? Are they at risk? No, cannabis smokers are not at risk. Not like a cigarette smoker. Not at all. You know why? Because when you smoke cigarettes, it hurts your lungs, it hurts your esophagus, it hurts your entire respiratory system. Not so when you're smoking cannabis. It doesn't hurt your respiratory system. It doesn't hurt your lungs. It doesn't hurt your esophagus. See the difference, Martin? Guys, I want a cup of coffee. Do you guys mind a splash of coffee? Just a splash of coffee really fast here. Just a splash. Just a splash of coffee.
But, Mr. President, I'm not standing here with an amendment saying, as part of this emergency relief, let's abolish the IRS.
I don't know about vaping. I really don't know about vaping nicotine.
There's a place for that political and policy discussion. The Democrats are pushing wind and solar tax credits. Mr. President, what in the hell does a windmill have to do with this crisis? Other than there's some Democratic lobbyists getting fat and rich, and they're willing to extort a crisis to try to advance their political agenda. Mandates on corporate board diversity. So these are Democrats that want to social engineer. Now listen, I actually have a lot of problems with corporate boards. I think we have far too many corporate boards that are docile and do what management wants. That's a serious problem. A lot of discussion about stock buybacks. I'll tell you what I get concerned about stock buybacks is when you have compensation agreements in place that the executives get rich if they get a short-term boost in share price. And it ends up hurting the shareholders. So I'd love to see actually more vigorous boards of directors that make sure that you're not creating incentives to gain the stock price. That's a reasonable question. But they want to mandate effectively quotas on boards of directors. Mr. President, what in the hell does that have to do with this crisis? The Pelosi wish list wants to restructure the debt for the post office. Mr. President, last I checked, look, our postal workers, they go through wind and rain and snow, but they haven't been laid off. I call upon both sides. Don't play games with this. This crisis isn't going to end tomorrow. It's not going to end the next day. It's going to last for a considerable time. It's going to require adults to step up and lead. On the pandemic, we need to follow the science. We need to listen to the doctors. We need to listen to the physicians. We need to do the steps that we're taking to keep people safe. On the economy, we need to give immediate relief to people who are hurting, and we need to make sure a liquidity crisis doesn't become a solvency crisis. You know, it's interesting. Many of the Democrats are saying they don't want corporate bailouts. Well, listen, I agree with them. I am passionately opposed to corporate bailouts. One of the things I was gratefully relieved about how this bill was structured is that it's structured as loans and not condition-free grants. And it's structured primarily so that it's not picking favored companies that happen to have big lobbying presence in Washington.
What is SB County stand intellectually? Let me know. Here's that little doggy. Cannabis is an expectorant. True. Hey, Bad Bad Blue draws. It's time for 420. Okay. It's time. I don't have a dab yet. I don't have a dab on deck yet. I need a dab on the deck. While we're dabbing, we'll listen to more Tom Cruise.
Is when the bills come due for all of those businesses.
Take them old records off the shelf.
Restaurant owner.
I sit and
who has a
listen to
pizzeria
them by
who saved to buy
myself.
this fantastic pizza oven, to have to sell the pizza oven for pennies on the dollar because the liquidity crisis has become a solvency crisis. We don't want our U.S. airlines to have to put up a garage sale effectively to sell all their airplanes.
Airlines.
Because they're going bankrupt in the midst of a crisis. We want to come out of this with strong, robust commercial airline sector. We want to come back out of this with the small businesses thriving. We want to come out of this with a thriving energy sector. We want to come out of this with jobs.
No longer going to get
So, Mr. President, I'm going to close this.
Cheers, everybody.
By calling on Democrats, calling on Republicans, rise above petty partisan games. The Democratic leaders are playing these games. To every one of you Democrats, listen to the men and women in your states. Don't give in to the games. You know, most of the Democratic senators say they don't even know what their side wants. That it's just their leadership that's willing to hold the American people hostage for unrelated political partisan objectives. And by the way, one of the reasons I think Senate Democrats are so willing to engage in this is they expect the media to be utterly complicit in their cynical gamesmanship. So we stand here this afternoon. It is not only the Democratic side of the chain.
Blah, blah, blah. We know. Like I said, now you all know exactly what's going on, what these people are doing. They're basically playing politics with our lives. And no, I don't know what Boris said. I have no idea. He's another fucking idiot. Just go on YouTube, man. If you guys just go on YouTube, shit like that pops right up. Here's the direct link to it. It's called the Washington Post. I'm not even following them. Shit pops right up under coronavirus news, which YouTube is putting up as a recommended subject, recommended playlist. They laid off many people. Yeah, you know, Stand Intellectual. I don't know what your fucking name is. Intellectual. But, you know, if people watched my show, I'm always begging people to go off grid, go off grid, go off grid, go off grid. You guys need to consider going off grid, grow your own vegetables. You know, store up on food and things like that. Am I going to make a list? I think I am. I'm going to make a list of all the things that I've told my audience that pertains to this. Virus outbreak, right? What was the first thing I warned everybody? Go off grid. Right? Grow your own food and medicine, right? Now, go off grid, that includes the 5 things we always talk about: food, shelter, water, medicine, and security. Okay? I'm not going to mention any of that. 3 minutes. Thank you, Baba Blue Jaws. Okay, number 3. Oh, we always talk about 2178. Right? That's on our fucking shirts. You know? For the people who are dead. There's how many people are died now? Let's see, how many dead do we have? 16,000. For them, this is some real shit. You know, for 16,000 people. What are my thoughts on Trump and the coronavirus? It's, you know, listen, tough liberal, I know you want to hear me fucking talk about that, but you know what's more important than my thoughts on Trump and the coronavirus are my thoughts on you protecting yourself, me protecting myself, and all of us just protecting ourselves by not going out, staying in, having food, having all the things you need at home so you can, you know, camp out at your house for a month or 2 until this thing blows over, and then we can all come back out of our shells again. I think that's more important right now. Personal vigilance. Yeah. It's up to us. This coffee is fantastic. I'm really enjoying this. James, you're hilarious. Thank you. Oh, it's bottom of the hour. No law regarding cannabis. It's time to smoke. Let's pull out the bong, shall we? Got some pretty glass to smoke out of. This comes from Golden Glass Works. Walter Golden on Facebook. I don't know if he's still blowing glass, but man, when he was doing it, made some beautiful pieces. This is the Jack Herrer or Jag Herrer. Jack Herrer, we're gonna smoke some Herrer. Jack Herrer, Herer, author of The Emperor Wears No Clothes. Fantastic book about cannabis, the history of hemp and cannabis. Do you have someone to help you if you should get sick? Tiffany, no, I really don't. I don't have somebody who could help me if I get sick. Always have played politics with our asses, never going to. All I have is myself. We won't have to worry about it anyway. Nate, did you watch the glass blowing show on Netflix? All right. Cheer. No, I didn't. Cheers, everybody. Bottom of the hour. Detroit Dabber, are you saying the Democrats had no guilt in any of this? Are you fucking kidding me? At this point, I find the Democrats more to blame than the Republicans. Way more. You know, you hear what you did hear what the bills were that they were the earmarks, right? I mean, you're watching the same broadcast we're all watching, right? Right?
Now, my hometown, Anchorage, is under a hunker down order. Our mayor decided he didn't want to call it a stay at home or just a stand down. It's a hunker down order, and that hunker down order went in place last night. It'll go through the end.
Doesn't sound very
of the
official.
month
Hunker
here.
down.
Last week, last
What is that?
Monday,
Is that an
we got
order?
a call from the mayor who
What does that
said,
mean?
I'm going to be closing down all the bars, all the restaurants, the entertainment facilities. We've got
Hunker
to work
down.
on containment.
Idiot.
Because here in Alaska, we're kind of at the end of the supply chain, and it's a pretty scary place to be right
Hey,
now.
Thomas.
So what defense do we have?
I voted for Bernie
We're-
Sanders,
we're
George.
gonna
I
really
wrote
be
in Bernie
aggressive
Sanders.
on this shelter in place. My son's a small businessman that provides to the restaurants in town.
Tough liberal. I didn't hear that.
So
No, I didn't hear
the order
that.
comes out that the restaurants are shut down. What does a small businessman like my 25, 26-year-old son now? Where does he go? How does he move forward from that Monday to this Monday? It's pretty scary.
Thank you, Garcia.
We went from a situation on Monday of last week where it was just one municipality that ordered the closure of restaurants and bars to the following day, the entire state has a full-on closure. We're a state that is isolated from everybody else in the continental United States. We fly to get home. It is a fact of our life. We had a letter signed by multiple emergency room doctors just last week urging the governor to ban non-essential air travel. Think about what that means. Pretty debilitating for a state like mine. You would say, well, that's not going to happen.
Debilitating.
Well, let me tell you what is happening.
I'll tell you what's debilitating. The fucking
now,
virus, you fucking idiot.
Non-essential travel there is a strict advisory against non-essential travel to the state
Tough
and within
liberal.
the
I don't know.
state.
I wish I knew.
We have villages in the interior part of the state predominantly that are banning outsiders coming
Will I write in
into
Bernie
the village
Sanders?
by airplane.
I'm in California. My vote doesn't really count.
So that might mean visitors coming in, which this time of year, it's pretty tough to have a big tourism industry in the interior part of Alaska. But the reality is that also means those planes that would be bringing your supplies, if there's a medical emergency, they would ask for relief out. This is how extreme the actions are. Because in Alaska, we felt fully the impact of the Spanish influenza a century ago that took out whole
She's got
villages.
nothing to say, this woman.
So
When
our
is she
native
gonna?
communities, as
When is she gonna
remote
make
and
a
small
fucking
and isolated
point?
as they are absolutely fearful
Make
that
a
we will see
point.
a repeat of that Spanish influenza.
Make
so
a
if we
point.
have to shut off all economic activity, we're doing that.
Make a point, you stupid bitch.
This weekend, a huge effort to move our homeless populations out of the crowded shelters into the shut-down sports arena and hockey arena, so that we can put them in an area and a place where there is hopefully sufficient 6-foot distancing. The hotels around the state, I've listened to our colleagues, we're all in the same situation with the impact that is happening to our businesses as we are shutting down, and these business owners are making the difficult decisions that they are. This morning, the faxes that I got from the hotel, the Quality Inn in Kodiak, Alaska, laying off 13 jobs.
13. She's talking about 13 people getting laid off.
This is from the Baranoff Hotel in Juneau, which most of us who have ever spent any time talking to our legislators know this is our most significant hotel in our capital city.
She's fucking psychotic!
Hotel
This woman is
positions.
psychotic!
This is a reality that for them, as they are watching what's happening.
The 13
here
people
in
who got
December,
laid off?
perhaps
How about the fucking
the
573
inaction
Americans who are
happening here
dead?
before the cameras.
She's crying about, oh, that's really putting us out.
Do
Oh,
I
this is
have
really putting us
alternatives
out.
to these layoffs? Will there be the level of support for me to keep my employees retained?
Wow.
To keep our community moving forward? I received a text from a friend who has Chena Hot Springs Resort. That resort he's owned now for 22 years.
She is a fucking dumbstick. How has someone like that become the mayor of even a goddamn kindergarten school? Like, in kindergarten. Like, how do you become the president of the goddamn... I mean, let alone the goddamn... What is she? The governor of Alaska? Or a senator from Alaska? What is she? God, she is a dumb stick. She is a dumb... She's worried about the 13 people in our biggest hotel that got laid off, and it's a big problem, and I need support for my 13 people that got laid off in my Alaskan territory, and we got snow here, and I can see Russia. Just like Sarah Palin can. I can see Russia. Adam, what's up, son? "150 people where she is, and the only one who could read." She's still blah, 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 and away.
To the nature of the partisan words that are on this floor today, because that is the last thing
Is she gonna make a
this
point?
body needs.
You gonna make a point
That
now?
is the last thing
Okay.
this country needs.
Now she's making a point.
They need
Finally.
assurance from us.
Finally.
They need to
Thank you.
have
Now-
that confidence
Now
that
she's
we get
she's making
the
sense.
urgency, that we hear their cries, and that we're not just sitting back here bickering because I haven't got my number one project. Or if we're going to make this even Steven, if it needs to be one Republican priority, then it needs to be another Democrat priority over there. You know what?
You know what?
We all represent
I've got
people
to take
of
my
different
kids
political persuasion.
to a soccer match
My
today.
job
And if I don't get them
as
to
a
their
senator
game
from the state of Alaska
on
is
time,
to represent all
as a
those
mother,
Alaskans.
I am
And I
not
would like to
doing
think
my
that all
job.
Alaskans
And
think
my children
that
are
protective
depending on me
equipment
to get them to
for
their
our
soccer
medical
game
providers
in my minivan.
priority for
And if
all
I
of
don't
us.
do it,
I
I'm
would
going to
like
be
to think
in a
that
lot
it's
of
a
trouble.
priority
There's
for
going to be a
all of
lot
us,
to answer
all
for.
Alaskans.
All
that we
Alaskans
say
will have
it
to
is
answer
best
for the fact that my
keep
children
those
did not make it to their
employees
soccer
as
game
part of your
on
business,
time. How
to keep
dare
that-
you?
keep
How
that
dare
held in
you
place until
not
we
let me
on the
get to
other
my
side
soccer
of the
game?
immediacy of the health crisis, so that we can work together to avoid a further economic crisis. But instead of this Monday,
Whoa, wait.
American
The flu?
public
Yeah, the flu,
and
vaccine for
Alaskans
the
who are counting
flu.
on me back home, instead of them being
I don't know about
able to
that.
see
I don't know about a vaccine for that. I
this
mean,
hope
you talking about
from their elected leaders,
not a cure,
that we
right?
got it, that we understand the urgency.
not a cure. You're not
What
talking
they
about, well,
see-
you're talking about the flu, or are you talking about the Wuhan
Are
coronavirus?
the partisan words. What they see
Say what you mean, man. Use your words.
is an empty chamber. What they hear is as much a measure of dysfunction as everything that they see in their world around them right now.
My children are going to miss their
One of the things
soccer
that our
match.
governor has done, and he's made some hard choices in the past week to 10 days.
Tough liberal. Why do they have to cancel NASCAR?
He's
Why?
made some decisions
Because-
that will have significant.
Maybe because it's a group gathering of more than 10 people in one place. Tough liberal. Did you ever think about that?
On its knees. But one of the things that he did was he put together
You
a
have to
conservative Republican governor has appointed two co-chairs. One co-chair is a
orange,
former
bud.
Republican governor, Governor Sean Parnell, and the other one
This.
is one that many of my colleagues here in the Senate know, former Senator Mark Begich. Politically, you couldn't have two different guys who are ahead of this task force. But it sent a signal to Alaskans that, look, we are all in this together. That there are no Republican solutions, there are no Democrat solutions, there are just solutions. And we better figure them out. And the state of Alaska is working real hard to do that. I was just visiting with some of our Alaska labor leaders. And
How about this?
in addition to the issues that we're talking about, they're telling me that their members
Pow!
they're out making
Sweet
personal protective
uppercut.
equipment.
Uppercut.
Getting the sewing machines out, they're getting the fabric and
Back of
dyeing
the head.
fabrics, and they're just making
Ugh.
things. They're doing what needs to be done. And so when we're reminded
Orange
so
ooze.
much good can come together,
I have her on now because she's actually
just kind of lay down our partisan
making a
arms
point now.
and say, what do we need to do for this country? What do you want for Arkansas? What do we need for Alaska? What do we need for one another? Because right now, we don't need the words that just further separate us as Americans.
All right. Fair enough.
So, Mr. President, I haven't talked about the contents of the bill that we have
Quarter of the
in front of us
hour.
for the Senate
Cannabis
and
ism
committee
for
before
all.
this afternoon.
Cheers,
I
everyone.
think we all share the desire, I hope we all share the desire to get this done readily, to get it done quickly.
I invented
because
moon rocks.
Right now, Americans
Fuck
are
that
losing
shit.
hope. I yield the floor.
Mr. President.
He's Senator from Indiana.
Mr. President, growing up, my dad used to tell me on a regular basis that you should never speak up unless you can improve upon the silence. I've tried to take that to heart in my personal life and my professional life.
That's why you're a politician, you
And
idiot. That doesn't
today
even
I
make
feel
sense.
like I can improve upon the silence. I have a deep conviction that the United States Senate is not living up to the expectations of the American people.
Whoa,
American people
that's a new
deserve a
concept.
United States Senate as good as the American people. They deserve a United States Senate that's responsive when they need government most. I suppose it's
I'm out of
fashionable
coffee.
these days to use
Unreal.
so
Nobody
many
does
of our
coffee anymore, pal.
institutions in society to elevate ourselves. Well, folks, this institution, its credibility is at stake. The American people need this institution to function. I was a United States Marine after graduating from.
Yeah, nobody fucking cares, dude. Tough liberal, are you making comments to just kind of be sarcastic? Are you just being sarcastic because I don't think anybody here would agree with you, right? You're being tough. You're trying to be silly, right? And that kind of stuff. It just doesn't go over well, in the chat. I guess it just doesn't. It doesn't really play well. Yeah, I guess it's because somebody would just kind of come in and say that and mean it. Who's to say you don't fucking mean it? I send coffee after Corona. After Corona. Cleaned his ears today. Will we ever get our $1,000? So, tough liberal, you're not gonna. I've been sitting here waiting for you to answer me about that comment you made about Space Force. You just trying to be sarcastic, or? You think this guy's done talking about himself yet?
They're calling senior citizens they know that they think are probably lonely at this time.
There we go.
They're coming together back in Evansville.
All right.
One of my friends, JP, he's a business owner. He's very active in the community. We're on the phone the other day. I think like other members, I've had countless phone calls in the last week or so. Business owners, not-for-profit leaders, healthcare providers, rank and file citizens, and this active citizen, this community leader, JP in Evansville, says that he was on the phone with the mayor.
Solar, it's expensive to get it, but once you got it, man, you got power.
They were all on the same page. They figured out how to come together, how to solve local problems together. They were all ready to tackle this because they sense what we should all sense. The sooner you can tackle these challenges, the sooner the pain will end.
You could even start out small and just have a small system that'll just run your well, and then build it from there, and then power the whole house.
He had not seen such unity within the community of Evansville, Indiana, since 9/11. It says a lot. Well, the Senate must be ready. This package, the CARES Act, was negotiated in a bipartisan way. 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans in consultation for each of the various working groups. They put together a package. It all came together. It was introduced. It was all bipartisan until it came time to vote on a procedural vote yesterday.
Thank you, David C. Baker.
This virus may seem to many small because it's impacted a small percentage of our population directly. And I have to say, its impact is growing rapidly.
I ate my last sausage today.
Together, the more damage that's going to be done. This
all
is
my ground, all my My ribeyes are gone and all my
It is
sausages
time.
are gone.
My colleagues on the other side of the aisle to take yes for an answer. Not play games. So what's this bill do? Nothing controversial. Provides additional assistance for healthcare needs. This is a pandemic. We need more masks. We need more PPE. Our hospitals are swamped. They can't conduct elective surgeries anymore. Their finances are out of whack. We need to help them out. What else does it do? It helps individual Americans.
What happens if I make the
Folks are
pay
resource constrained right now. They can't go to work. So $1,200, at least for starts, per American. $2,400 per married couple. Additional $500 if you have dependents. That's really going to make a difference in Hoosiers' lives.
Hoosiers. There we go. Look at that.
We need to make sure that people have jobs to go back to.
Hoosiers.
Once we get through this
Like a
as
drunken
well.
owl. Oh, he's
And
a
that's why
real
this
Hoosier, that
legislation
one.
is designed to provide
That all
much
night
needed
hooting it up with
for
his
these
friends.
businesses. They still have debts to pay. They still got debts. They want to make payroll. I can't tell you. I mean, I've talked to so many small businessmen in tears. I've talked to leaders of our largest corporations as well, and I'll tell you, I talked to a lady who didn't think things looked real good. We didn't have a whole lot of time to respond to this. Meeting payroll, paying for rent, paying your leases, paying your mortgage. These are the essentials, folks. And this is not
Cheers.
2008.
Newfoundland,
That was a horrible
cheers.
crisis.
Happy 420,
But
Bab
we
Bab
are
Blue Jaws.
coming off the best economy, arguably, in 5 decades. And because the economy
like a
was so
drunken
good,
owl.
people were optimistic about the future.
On this
And
virus,
through
and
no
maybe
fault of
add
their
that to
own.
the list.
Businessmen did sort of the rational thing. They invested in the future, the property, the plant, the equipment that's required to grow. They're working on taking market share. All of those who believe in the free enterprise system can associate ourselves with what they were trying to accomplish. 2008, a little different. The economy was lethargic. The bottom fell out of the economy. But in sort of an ironic twist, when the economy's down, people are paying down their debt.
Right on, Carl.
They're bolstering that financial.
Yes, I'm
that
balding, but
balance
call
sheet.
me Nay, Heath.
They're maintaining some liquid assets.
I'm just going to go ahead and block you. But yeah, I'm
in
balding slightly.
anticipation of further tough times. We don't have
I'm
that
losing
benefit right now.
some hair right
We
here.
can measure the prospects of our employers.
I'm still the ladies still
in
find
debt.
me sexy.
For many of them, it's too late. The United States Senate needs to treat this like an emergency because it is an emergency. So what else does this legislation do?
Does. What else does
Well,
this resolution?
there's a category. Let me just
legislation
group together.
does.
Let me call it, I think, incontrovertibly, emergency funding. $20 billion for veterans' health care, $11 billion for vaccines, therapeutics, diagnostics, and other preparedness needs, masks, gloves, ventilators.
That's fair.
$75 billion for hospitals, $4.5 billion for the Centers for Disease Control, $12 billion for America's military as it helps us respond to this,
Okay,
this
that's fair.
pandemic, and
Fine,
so on.
that's fair. $1 trillion come
That's what the
in.
bill's all about. That's what we're fighting about.
Almost 2 trillion. Where's all that?
So what happened?
They got greedy.
Things go off track.
They got greedy. That's
Well,
what happened.
I've got, and it may surprise some folks, but I've got a very positive relationship with the Democratic leader. We just happen to have a lot of principled disagreements. And at the very end of a bipartisan
And the
process,
Democrats knew you weren't going to fucking
when he and
accept
other
it.
members of his caucus
Those
try and
fucking
insert provisions
douchebags.
pertaining to the Green New Deal and other far
Thank you,
left
Kathy.
priorities into this
Thank
package,
you,
then-
Mr. Johnson.
And that, of course, disrupts our emergency response. So now we have Speaker Pelosi seemingly hijacking the process.
When I start wearing
That's
this
our
all the
CEO
time,
Representatives.
you guys
You're
know.
part of this body.
I'll be wearing this all the
those
time. I'll
folks
look
are all
fine. You won't be able to
The House
tell.
isn't in session.
I'll just look just
But
like
Speaker
this.
Pelosi wanted to remain relevant.
You'll be like, oh, he's
Decided
gone to the head
She wanted to
covering
get
now.
some TV time, I suppose, and so her proposal involves federalizing voting. We can have an honest debate about if it's appropriate to federalize the voting system, to mandate, early voting, same-day voter registration. That's something that should be debated in the United States Senate, because I know it's a priority of so many of my colleagues. Again, elements of the Green New Deal. We can debate whether or not there has to be a full offset of airline emissions by 2025. Some other time.
Hey, Casey
We can debate whether or
Karma.
not
How's it going? Came in at
greenhouse
perfect
gas
timing.
Statistics for individual flights should be widely available. Let's work on that separately after we help the American people. Let's not work on pet priorities. We can debate permanent paid leave. Permanent paid leave granted by the federal government some other time. This is a pandemic.
That's why I'm here, Thomas.
It's an economic emergency. A public
Trendy
health
as dabbers
emergency.
3 times a day.
The American people want a response. They don't want us to focus on this right now.
You got solar
I made a
panels?
lot of phone calls in recent days back home.
I got a lot of solar panels. I got some brand new ones that are really nice.
None of this is possible without the wherewithal, without the hard work of sturdy Americans, without great American innovation. None of the resources that are required to actually.
I have a whole array of solar panels that's not even it's not even plugged in right now. Because this virus hit while they were installing it, and everything came to a grinding halt. 2 cables need to be connected, but the thing is, they're really big cables, it's like bigger than any kind of cable you'd see in like a car stereo system. They got to be run through conduit and shit. The conduit has to be installed. The cables have to be run through. And they have to be crimped onto these big fucking caps, with eyelets on them. And it takes a big tool, it's almost like a big, like one of those things that, like bolt cutters, that crimps those things down. And I don't have the cable here to do it. I've seen the cable; it's fucking huge. They've only run one of them. They need to run a second one. I don't have the tools to do it, so it's all there. I just need to connect 2 fucking cables. All 3 of my arrays will be up and running. That's 96 solar panels. I'm gonna be fucking blasting. Right, I'm already blasting power right now. I'm using 16 watts. According to this, I don't think it's right. This says I'm using 16 watts of grid power. Now it says 11 watts. It says I'm using 11 watts of grid power. It says my home is currently using 2,045 watts. And I bet if I turned off my waterfall, I would greatly decrease that. In fact, I'm kind of wondering that. 2045. 2045. 2045. Let's see if we can remember that. I'm going to just pop out there really quick and cut that. Well, I could do it from in here, actually. I could pop this breaker. I don't even have to leave the... That should turn off. Okay, let's see. It was a 2045. Let's see if that cuts the amount of power I'm running. All right, we'll just wait and we'll refresh that. Hey, top of the hour. Thank you, Baba Blue Draws, for keeping it real. He's keeping it real. He's keeping it real.
50 layoffs likely this week. These are families. These are individuals who take pride in their work. They want to go back to work. Here's what Sanjay said.
2045.
Sanjay said,
Thank you, Daniel
we're
and
thinking
Dennis.
of closing a few of them here. It's just deteriorating every day. It was worse last
Thank
night
you,
than the
Hippie
night
Chick.
before, and it was worse the night before than 2 days ago. It's just deteriorating, and I think it's just a matter of time until we close down. It's an emergency. It's not time for Nancy Pelosi's priorities. It's time for the American people's priorities. We have a baking shop with locations in Carmel, in Indianapolis, that had to lay some workers off. Their owner said, my heart goes out to my cake bake family, whom I was forced to lay off during this horrible virus. I'm working with my banks, my insurance company, my accountant, and the government to try and create some sort of relief, some support for my team.
Blah, 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 blah. Anecdotal. Shut up. I know. I'm sick of his voice. I muted it right when you said that's funny. TYT's live finally good. Thank you. Let's go there because I want to hear what they have to say about all this shit.
$1,200, that's it. And they would also apply means testing to determine who should get it. And believe it or not, the people making the absolute
Put this on 480.
least amount of money would get nearly nothing in help. So let me tell you basically the biggest issue that Democrats had, and let me just be clear, Senate Democrats have blocked what Senate Republicans have wanted, and I think it's a good thing. I think Americans need help, but what this bill did not include real help to people who are suffering right now. So a major sticking point, according to the Washington Post, is a $500 billion pool of money for loans and loan guarantees that Republicans want to create, which some Democrats are labeling a slush fund because the Treasury Department would have broad discretion over who receives that money. There is little precedent for a program with a similar size and scope. And so Tammy Duckworth was interviewed on cable TV, and she was pretty good in just describing how disastrous
Right on, Brian.
this proposal was. Take a look.
Well, the package that the Republicans have drawn up does nothing to help struggling workers. Our struggling workers need help today, and they need their jobs safeguarded for tomorrow. It has no protections for them, and instead it creates a $500 billion slush fund for Steve Mnuchin to, hand out loans to corporations as he please. I mean, do Americans think that this man is going to look out for the well-being of working Americans over the well-being of corporations and corporate CEOs? I certainly don't trust him, not without oversight. And the slush fund that they proposed in their bill, which no Democrat had any chance to put any requirements into, does not provide any oversights for him. This bill is all skewed towards corporations. It's skewed towards a slush fund that Steve Mnuchin is going to be able to write checks to whoever he wants with no oversight, even to Trump organizations.
Because on one hand, this has turned into a messaging war because Republicans are always going to be Democrats in messaging. And what they're saying is, hey, look at Democrats. They don't want to help the average American out. They blocked our attempts to provide relief. But Democrats need to be better, and I think Tammy Duckworth did a great job there, but they need to be better in
Later,
demonstrating
Diana.
and showing how, no, these Senate Republicans are not looking out for you. They're looking out, they want to continue redistributing wealth from the bottom to the top.
If only we had objective, something like a referee that could say, hey, you know, this person is right and that person is wrong, or this party is right and that person is wrong. Maybe we could even call them reporters or journalists, and then they could tell us.
Right.
So the reality is that's what the job of a journalist is supposed to be. So here, let's do it, since the mainstream media is scared to death of Republicans. So anyone who watches the Young Turks knows we got no problem calling out Senate Democrats. We borderline enjoy it, okay? And we hold them accountable just as much as we hold Senate Republicans accountable. In this case, there is a couple of things that are very, very clear. Number one, yes, they're both trying to pass a stimulus bill. There isn't either side going, I don't really want to pass it. No, even the Republicans, yes, they want to pass it because they're in charge. They're going to get blamed if the economy goes south, if you have massive unemployment, the stock market is crashing. So the Republicans who complained about stimulus bills when Obama was in charge are like, we need a stimulus bill. And we need to be 3 times larger than the one that we gave Obama. So you can call them hypocrites on that, but they certainly do want to pass it. So the Democrats, do they want to pass it? Absolutely. There's no question that they want to pass it. They got to get those workers help, but they also need to, let's keep it real, get their donors help. They have the same corporate donors as the Republicans, and they're all in a panic. They are all the Senate Democrats are also rich. They also have money in the stock market. So everybody's motivated to get a bill done. So then the next layer is who is right about the different provisions. In this case, it's definitely the Democrats. So is there a slush fund? Indisputably. I read the bill myself. There's no question it's a slush fund. The Treasury can give it to anyone they like. If they want, they can take the $500 billion and give 400 of it to Mar-a-Lago. So there is no checks and balances. Later, when that's abused, people say, "Oh, can you believe they abused that?" Yes, that's why they're objecting now, because we know they're going to abuse it. We can believe it. There's no question about it. But that's not the only issue. There's so many other issues, but the second major one, which is so important, I need people to understand this, is, look, a ton of people are about to get laid off. That is not some sort of Republican trick. That's definitely true.
Oh.
Okay. So
Now it's
we've got to
579.
Try to find a way to protect those folks. So the Republican proposal to do that is give a blank check to the companies, and first to the largest companies, and eventually we'll figure out how to get to the small businesses, right? But they do have provisions for small businesses in here as well, but it's going to take longer to get to us, God help us, right? But for the larger companies, let's just give them a blank check. And the Democrats, led by Elizabeth Warren in this case, are saying, no, wait a minute. If you're going to take that check, you're not allowed to use it to buy back your own stock, just to enrich your executives, and you've got to actually keep your employees. Now, if you care about the average American worker, that is very, very logical. If you do not have...
Shut up. Happy 7:10, everyone. It's 7:10, everyone. Look at the time. It's time for 7:10 for you, my friend. I turned off my waterfall. It made no... You know why? Because my waterfall might be running on my other array, actually. It's possible. It's not one of my essentials if, you know, I didn't put the waterfall on the essential block. So, that waterfall doesn't affect these numbers right here. Thanks, Nay. That's good on the screen. The government wants to depopulate the country. The government wants to depopulate the country. I'll put whatever the fuck I want on the screen, you fucking asshole. You're such a... This is what you get now with your big fat mouth. Alright? This is what you get with your big fat fucking mouth. Here you go, Karsten. This is for you, buddy. Everybody can thank Karsten, okay? You can all thank Karsten for this. There you go, Karsten. Is that better, buddy? The fucking critique master. Mr. fucking Critique is here to fucking tell everybody what he fucking wants. Here, let's look at this one. I want to look at this one right here. We'll let the map load there. All the data load. There we go. Look at that. That's great. Look at that. Here, let's click on this. Wow, they changed this, huh? $27,800, $29,500, $32,400, $32,600. It's fucking such a little control freak. You know, I fucking hate that shit. You're a fucking control freak. I like this better. I like this display better. I think I'll leave this up. Right there. Yeah. Yeah, you like that better, Karsten? You want that up on the screen? Is that what you want, buddy? Let's see those numbers. You want me to put up Germany for you, bro? Here's Germany, homie. 118 deaths in your country. Hey, you guys just surpassed 420 recovered in Germany. Congrats to that, bro. 420, time to smoke. Dude, every time we get recovery, you know, 7, 10, and 420 numbers on the recoveries, we should fucking celebrate. Look at Karsten. Karsten's getting sad. Fucking Karsten. You had to open up your mouth, bro. You had to open up your mouth, didn't you? You just had to open up your mouth. You just couldn't be happy. You just couldn't be satisfied. You just had to let me know that I did what you needed me to do, and that made you a lot happier. You just had to let me know. Dude, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to put this shit up all the time, man. I'm going to put it right there, right where you guys can see it, so you don't fucking forget about it. The one thing I haven't figured out is how to get it back to the world statistics. I see China. You know, you click on China. I don't know what this does. New York. Oof, look at that. Just zoom right in on that motherfucker. Why aren't they showing the individual? Oh, maybe they will in a second. Yonkers. Not to blame Asian Americans on national TV. Well, then he should stop calling it the goddamn Chinese virus, that fucking hypocrite. Dog Snoopy is glued to your show. Shout out to all the doggies. Good puppy. Good doggy. I woke up my puppy. I'm sorry, did I wake you up? Fucking Donald Trump spends the last week tweeting about the fucking Chinese virus and the China virus, and he's like, "Oh, you guys all need to be nice to Asian Americans." What a fucking idiot! What a hypocrite and a fucking idiot. I guess New York's not gonna show us the actual where they are. 157 deaths in New York. 12,305 cases in New York. I wonder if it's in my county yet. It's not showing. I don't know why it's not. Here, let me refresh the page. I don't know why it's not showing the individuals. It was showing the individual regions, the cities before. Let me see if I can get this. I was just going to say what, Lisa? Software? Here, I'll give you a link to it. It's Johns Hopkins. Here's a link, bro.
You know, we like to use this software on our when we're basically we're projecting it. We've got it's kind of behind the times because what's going on is we've got some shape-shifting interdimensional reptilian aliens that are actually delaying our signal because they're feeding into our thoughts. They're actually taking our signal, they're delaying it so that they can manipulate it how they see fit. Now, when I snorted my last line of Super Male Vitality last night, I chopped it up and I could only do half a dose because it's so ultra potent. I could only snort half a dose of it. I was thinking about this all night and I finally figured it out. You know what they're doing? They're basically helping to spread the virus by plugging into our thoughts, and they're spreading the virus. That's why it's spread around the globe so quickly. You know, you'll notice that if you go to infowars.com, you'll see that. You know, we you want you to look at your water filtration systems. We've got some excellent water purification going on. You're going to want to also check into our. We've got some fantastic protein bars. They're probably the best tasting bars. I've sampled all of our competitors, and let me just tell you, our protein bars are probably the best protein bars you're ever going to get on the market anywhere. I prefer the chocolate. The peanut flavor is fantastic. Vanilla is fantastic. Strawberry is fantastic. Actually, all of our flavors are fantastic. You need to just get the sampler box. Make sure whenever you do that, check out our iodine, because our iodine, we mine that out of Alaska. Let me tell you something. It's the purest form of. It's the purest form. The ultimate purest form. Let me tell you something. You know, this is true. It's the purest form of iodine that you'll ever find, any samples, anywhere else. We give it to you. You could literally stand at the base of an atomic explosion and you will survive if you have some of our iodine samples with you.
I don't live in a city. Here, I'm checking right now. Here, it refreshed it. I got it. It's fucking scary, man. Nope. We're good. We're good. My county's clear. We're good. We got them all around us. We got them everywhere except due north, but we've got northeast and northwest. We've got southwest. We've got south. We've got southeast, and we've got due east of us. We've got a case everywhere. And down south, there's 27. That's Sonoma, with 1 death.
Yeah, I've done long extended versions, bits where I'm talking like this. We'll talk about like this for a while. I'll try to work on it. He's got more of a southern accent. Sometimes I forget that. He's from Texas, I believe. He's got just a little twang. Sometimes I forget that. Just a little bit. It's almost imperceptible. But sometimes you got to throw it in there a little bit. It's kind of hard to do. You know, he's real good at that. Joe Rogan. He's real good at that.
You guys ever heard Joe Rogan do Alex Jones? Have you? If you've never heard Joe Rogan impersonate Alex Jones, it's probably the best Alex Jones impersonation you will ever hear. I mean, he hangs out with them. They're friends. He sounds just like him. He sounds just like him. It's fucking crazy. So 374,000 cases around the world. Okay, I can deal with that. Stay in the house. You guys can deal with it. Stay in your homes. I'm gonna bust out some rice and start doing some rice recipes. Not even busting into my storage rice, just rice I have in the kitchen. But I will eventually be doing that. Oh, guess what? It did go down. My power, 940 watts, 949 watts now. Down from 2045, it is now 950. We'll say 950. And it still says I'm taking 20 watts off the grid. I wonder why that is. I wonder why I'm taking 20 watts off the grid. It updated itself. Huh. Just from turning off my waterfall, man, that waterfall is... What, dude? 1,000 watts. That fucking waterfall. Yeah, the virus isn't slowing down, you fucking idiot. In fact, free Alex Jones. I'm sorry, buddy. You gotta leave my live stream. You can't lie to my audience like that. I won't let you do it. They got rid of all the different tracking that they used to have at Johns Hopkins. It's weird. Not exponential. That's the good thing, guys. It's not exponential growth. It's accelerating, but it's not accelerating exponentially right now. It was for a little while, and now it's just accelerating. So wildlife chlamydia outbreak. A comic on Instagram. Right on, Carson. Shut up. God damn. It's everywhere. I got my goddamn civil rights right here. It's called a fucking assault rifle and a... Not an assault rifle. Every fucking weapon's an assault weapon. But it's called a fucking SKS with a bayonet and a fucking Glock. There's my civil rights. How about that? I'm good. For some reason, nobody wants to come up here and fuck with me. It's great. Except Cobra Dad. Cobra Dad. Cobra Dad. I got an assault knife. My fucking handgun's an assault handgun. Trust me, I can assault you with it. Even if it doesn't have bullets in it, I can just grab it and hit you with it. It's still an assault weapon. See how that works? I assaulted you with it. So you're saying it's not an assault weapon? Look. If I take this ceramic mug, and let me tell you something. It's fucking heavy. If I take this ceramic mug and I bash this over your head and I knock you the fuck out with it, or maybe even kill you with it. If I hit this part on your head and kill you with it, it doesn't even break the fucking mug. Is this an assault weapon? Oh, you goddamn right it is. I just assaulted you and used it as a weapon. Now it's an assault weapon because it was used in that purpose. Do you understand? So trying to define a certain kind of a rifle to say it's an assault rifle, hey man, I can take your assault rifle, your assault weapon theory all the way down to a goddamn ceramic mug or a fucking piece of metal like a poker that I could kill you with. I could literally kill you with this. You don't think I could kill you with this? Hold still. Hold still for 3 seconds and I'll show you. A fucking poker. Assault weapon? You goddamn right if I used it to assault you. If I put my thumb over it like that and I start stabbing you in the neck with it, repeatedly, is it an assault weapon? Are my fingers dirty now from resin? You goddamn right they are. I gotta wash my hands now. Unreal. Nobody uses pokers for assault weapons anymore, pal. Total recovered 100,000. Yay! That's good. Okay, that's great. Over under 1/3 of the people that have contracted the virus have recovered. That's a good thing. We like that. God, man. Do you know if this virus were to just die out all of a sudden? And we wouldn't need the stimulus package. You realize Donald Trump, boom, presidency guaranteed. You realize that? Isn't that crazy? If this virus somehow dies out in the month or the next month, or we figure it out, or there's a cure, or whatever, Donald Trump, guarantee you, Donald Trump's going to be the president for the next 4 years, guaranteed. If Donald Trump debates Joe Biden, guaranteed he will be president again for the next 4 years, guaranteed. It's going to be a wild ride, man. Next few months till November to see what happens. I mean, how the fuck do we vote when we're not supposed to leave? And how long? They say April. What if it goes into May, June, July, August? What if it's getting worse and worse? What if we can't control it? What if we've got so many assholes that live in the United States? We're not a communist country where everybody obeys the fucking government.
We got freedom here. Woo! We're hunkering down, but sometimes I gotta go party with my friends and breathe the same air they're breathing.
What is this going to do to our economy? How many people just lost their jobs? Are they all going to go back to work? Hospitality, airlines, restaurants, are they all going back to work? These companies going to go out of business? What's going to happen? They going to get a grant from the government and be able to keep going? This is going to be a crazy future. Everything has changed suddenly. Fucking reloads the whole page. It should just reload the chat. Inside, I guess I can't do that. Wouldn't that be cool if it did that? I think it'd be cool if it did that. Tweaking that goddamn chat. Look at that shit. Tweaking that fucking chat. Mixing it up a little bit with the green on the Facebook color. Look at that shit. Oh, I recrop it, man. On the right side. Yeah! Ha ha ha! Kick ass. Kick ass. Dude, that chat looks awesome. I'm rocking the chat. I want to make it tilt back further. Yeah. Fuck yeah. I like it. Is Brave Samuel? No, I'm not saying Pelosi's brave. I'm saying that She's basically just lashing out at the Republicans. They knew the Republicans weren't going to accept that bill. And they're playing with our lives in the balance. You know, while we die, they sit there and play their stupid little politics games. You know, like like they're writing some kind of a fucking thriller novel. Fuck them all. I'm digging this chat. Fucking wind's blowing like crazy outside. Alright. I'm gonna go. No law regarding cannabis, you guys. I will see you 7:10 tonight or so, alright? Hang in there. We'll do this together. Alright, guys? Trendy As Dabbers on Twitter. TrendyAsDabbers.com for trendy paint oil information. How to grow 4 pounds. It's free information. It's right there, guys. It's always there for you. Just go there. Alright? You got some organizing to do, filing, things like that. Now's a great time to do it. Organize the goddamn linen closet or, you know, whatever. Dusting, cleaning in your house. You know, you can vacuum every day like I've been doing. All right. Bye, guys.